Hello, my crafty friends. Welcome to Stamp with Teah. I am Teah Woodward, and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! In the Vancouver, Washington area of the United States. I am just thrilled to be here with you today. Now, this is a re-recording of this same card. There was a technical difficulty yesterday, and the video had to be deleted. Therefore, I am re-recording this video. So if you caught my live yesterday, don't be thrown off by seeing it again. It's all good. We're just making it so that everybody has the same opportunity to see it and without that technical difficulty that manifested when I uploaded it yesterday. So here's the card that I'm going to be demonstrating today. The name of this stamp set is Painted Poppies. It's an oldie but goodie. So here's the stamp set. And here are the coordinating dies that go with it. So today I am using two of the stamps from Painted, or actually three. I'll be using this one on the inside and then using these two on the outside. And then I'm going to use these detailed dies for the leaves. So that's what our stamp set is using today. And then the sentiment is coming from Peaceful Moments. These are in the annual catalog. You can find them on page 29. Both of these are on page 29. Another item that I'm using today is the time-worn type. It's a tongue twister. Time-worn type. I'm gonna let me try one more time. Time-worn type 3D embossing folder. That is in the annual catalog on page 177. And then there is, I'm also using the layering circle dies. They come with this many dies. I'm only using the dies without the scallops. And those are also in the annual catalog, and those are on page 172. So those are our supporting characters today in our card making. So let me set all of this out of the way. Now to speed things up, I have pre-cut, pre-die cut, pre-scored, pre-embossed, everything that I'm making today. So that should speed things up just a little bit. Our card base is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So I'm just going to go ahead and burnish that since I've got it in my hands. Just lining up those edges nicely. And give that a nice sharp crease. Setting that aside. So the time-worn type 3D embossing will be our card front. So this is our card base. This will be our card front from which I will build and embellish or decorate the front of our card. There is an up and a down side to this. Let's see if I get this close enough. You can read some of the words. So if you weren't careful, it would be really easy to accidentally turn this upside down. So you're going to want to make sure that as you're working with it, you've got that type going the direction that you want it to go. So we're going to start off by taking a piece of basic white cardstock, grabbing our poppy flowers, and I'm just going to ink these up. There is not a die to cut these flowers out, so these are fussy cut. And I've actually already fussy cut the flowers that I'm going to use, and I've colored them with the blender pens, but I'm just going to show you what my process looks like. I knew that I wanted 5 flowers, but I wasn't sure if I wanted 3 of the big flower and 2 of the little flower, or if I wanted 3 of the little flower and 2 of the big flower. So what I did is I did 3 of each, and then I messed around with it until it laid out just right for me. So see how nice and crisp those are? Now the colors that I'm using with the blender pens, so I'm just showing you what my layout looked like. I've already die cut and colored these. But the colors that I'm using are Poppy Parade and Sweet Sorbet. And the pens come in, I probably have these all mixed up now. They come in a light and a dark in a combo pack. So there is the light Poppy Parade. And there's the dark Poppy Parade. And then here's the light and dark Sweet Sorbet. And what I did here, they're very similar in color tone. One's a little bit, the Sweet Sorbet is a little bit more in the blue tone, and the Poppy Parade is a little bit more in the orange tone, but I liked how well they all sat together. So I colored some flowers in some colors in others, and I actually did one with a combination of the light Sweet Sorbet and the dark Poppy Parade. That's how I did that. Now once I stamped these, and I'll color one flower for you. And I'm just going to go ahead and go with the Poppy Parade. So I'm going to start with the light. And like I said, all of these have actually already been colored and cut. So I like to lay down a layer of, I think I've grabbed my old Poppy Parade pen. I have a brand new one that I was using earlier today. I like to lay down my lighter color, and then I like to go back and add my shading of my darker color. I'm going to use the bullet tip on that edge. There we go. I can get a little closer. But see, this pen is just a little on the dry side. That's why I know it's all right. I'm only showing you one. I won't make you watch me go through this on all of them. There we go. I like to lay down my light and then add my shading for my dark, and then I go back with my light. Oh, here's the right set of pens. I had them in my project box. All right, this one is quite a bit juicier. There we go. Then I'm going to take the bullet tip from my dark Poppy Parade, and everywhere that I believe that there would be a shadow, I'm going to add a line. So if there is an overlay of petals, the petal that's on the underside would get the color. And then I'm going to go in and very lightly add a little bit of color around the perimeter. And I'm ready to come back in with my light Poppy Parade. I'm going to use the brush tip, and I'm going to just use a little circular motion. These are alcohol markers, and so they will blend very nicely in that lighter ink applied over that darker ink and swept in towards the center of the lighter ink. will create a beautiful blending sensation, or blending, why is sensation the only word that's coming to my mind? Effect. And I'm gonna pull this up a little close, and I kind of like this watercolory look of it being a little bit splotchy. So that's how I would color them. I would do all of them. As I mentioned before, I would do some in Poppy Parade, I would do some in Sweet Sorbet, and then I would even do one or two that was maybe a mix. Then I would cut these apart and then fussy cut each one. You are lucky because I have already done all of that. And here they are. And I actually have more here than I need. I didn't even realize I had done that. So I really only need 3 of the big flowers and 2 of the little flowers. But here I am. So I might as well go ahead and pick out which ones I like, huh? I like that there is some difference here. I like that. And I like that. There we go. All right. So I've already prepared these flowers. The other thing that I need to do is I have the leaves that were die cut. Now, I went ahead and assembled most of them already. So they are 2 layers. See this? There's a dark layer and a lighter layer. What I did is I applied a piece of adhesive sheet. So these are our adhesive sheets. They come in 6 by 12. And I should pull one out and show you. I'll just show you with a little piece. So the adhesive sheet has a backer on both sides. And see if I can pull this one apart. Yes, I can. So the sticky is on that side there, and this one is not sticky. You apply this to the back of your cardstock, and then on the front of your cardstock you apply your die, and then after you run it through the die cut machine, you have turned your cardstock basically into a sticker. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. I've assembled all of these except one just so that I can show you. So on this light green, see how it's white on the back? That's where that backer is from that adhesive sheet. Got a little bit of that other adhesive that I was demonstrating on my finger. There we go. Just peel that off. This is now a sticker. And just line that up on that base, and you're ready to go. So here we are. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take that embossed piece that I mentioned at the beginning, and I am going to adhere these 2 more spindly looking pieces into each of these corners, just like that. I could have used adhesive sheet on the back of this as well for that, but I'm perfectly happy to have used multi-purpose adhesive. And I'm going to point that. This one is going to basically point right up into that corner. Then now this is a birthday card for my stepdaughter. I love that I can make cards for people that I love. There we go. Okay, so let's see, what I didn't do yet is I didn't stamp my sentiment and put that together, because I really did build that. After I put these down, I had my sentiment in the center, and then I built out from there. So let me stamp that real quick. There's actually two things I can stamp, and then I can put that black ink away. Here's my happy birthday. And I'm going to center that. Oh, not quite as centered as I wanted, but that's okay because I can arrange the flowers to hide that. That's one of the beautiful things about, oh, I was going to stamp one more thing. That's one of the beautiful things about making something homemade. I could also just flip that over, and it might drive me crazy if I don't just flip it over and center it. So I might just do that. Matter of fact, I know I will because I'm just kind of silly that way. This is the liner that's on the inside of the card, and I just wanted a little amount of decoration. Bring back out my happy birthday, and I'm going to do that one more time. I'm just going to turn that circle right over. I can tell that this is a slightly drier ink pad. I have two of these, and one of them I'm going to slide this to me just a little bit. One of the ink pads I had that's better, inked up, so I know it was quite juicy, so I obviously grabbed the other one. Right, so there's two things I can do here right now. I can first of all adhere this to my matte layer. This green is Old Olive. One of my favorite colors in the Stampin' Up palette. Just gonna, whoa, that's went off center. One of my favorite reasons for using the multi-purpose adhesive is it gives me room to wiggle things into place. While I'm letting that dry for just a minute, I am going to grab a couple of these pens and just quickly fill in. I'm going to use the bullet tip, and I'm just going to add a little bit of color to these flowers. I love our blender pens. And the alcohol ink dries quite quickly. So just like I did with the flowers that will be on the front of the card, I'm mixing up my Sweet Sorbet and Poppy Parade. So I live in Vancouver, Washington, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and it is fairly humid here this evening. Really nice weather during the day, but it is humid tonight. I am not complaining. Well, much. Right, I think I hit all the color there. I'm going to set that aside and I can adhere that later. I'm going to get back to assembling our card front. So I'm going to break out the dimensionals now. I'm going to use 3 on the back of my sentiment. My husband and I have a vintage boat race event that we will be at this weekend. We're looking forward to that. My husband and I have been together for 12 years, but we have never been camping together, and this weekend we will be camping, so our preparations have been interesting. We've both been camping, just not together. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of the large flowers and I am going to double stack my dimensionals. So I'm going to do a double stack right in the middle. If I need more later, I can go back and add them. But I will build around these as a double stack. And I realize not everybody thinks that this is good practice. It's good practice for me. And so I'm going to show you what works for me. So I'm going to put one right here. After I get all the other layers in, I can add more dimensionals underneath the edges if I need to. And I think I'm going to add that one right there. This flower is going to get a single dimensional behind it. And let's see if I can something along those lines. What I do is I'll fit in the last of the leaves. And again, I had already built out this card in another video yesterday, so I'm already familiar with what I needed to do for the layout. Okay, so with these I have 3 of these leaves. I'm going to cut off the bottom stem because nobody's going to see it, and it's going to make it easier for me to futz these into position. And with these, I'm going to use my mini glue dots to adhere them. That way I'm not going to drag adhesive through my arrangement. Let's see, so before I do that, I do want to make sure that I know what I'm doing. So, good thing I practiced. I might have to cut part of this one off. Let's see. shorten this one up a little bit. That's funny. Funny, not funny. I must have had my dimensionals in slightly different location on my practice card. There we go. So that is, so now that I know where that one's going, I am just going to adhere that in place right now. There we go. And then well, that's painful to watch, isn't it? Okay, so that one is about right. I must have really put these in different positions than I did before. But I think that is going to be right now. So that one is, so this can go off just a little bit because the dimension of this card front is 4 by 5 1/4. The card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I have just a little bit of wiggle room for hangover if I need it. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me lead with this hand. There we go. That is better there. And then this one I had coming out from underneath. So I understand it's pretty warm in majority of the United States, not just because it's July. There we go. I'm fairly happy with that. I'm going to cut off just the very tip there. So my husband is driving at this race boat regatta this weekend. We got him a new racing suit, and I was sewing patches on earlier today. So he is plenty excited about that. There we go. Ta-da! There's the card front. Okay. I can bring this card base in. Flip this over. I like to raise my card fronts up on dimensionals. And I like to use a lot of dimensionals. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to take these backs off. Oops. All right. sure my card opens the correct direction. And then center. And then I'm using matte black dots on the front. That's what these 3 dots are here. Again with my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to pull the small dots. I tried putting a ribbon on here yesterday and I didn't like any of the ribbons or any of the twines, so I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to leave it just like that. Now the inside of the card, I do need to still put my liner, so I'm going to adhere my stamped image or my stamped liner to a matte layer. I will be posting all of these dimensions to my blog. Probably in the morning. And there's my liner. And there we go. My friends, I hope you like that. Let me mention really quickly. So this is July 19th, today that I'm filming this for the second time. And we are in the middle of Celebration. So Celebration is your opportunity to get some free products with your purchases. So a purchase of $50 will get you, there are some items that you can get with a purchase of $50 and some items that you can get with a purchase of $100. I would encourage you to take a look at that. You don't want to miss out. Things are starting, it is while supplies last, and one of the items is already gone. The Seafoam and Pool Party note cards and envelopes are already gone. So, but everything else as of about an hour ago was still available. So thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate your time. Big hugs.